right, another little segment here. Decided to stop, take a break from the descaling process. Everything's coming along nice. That descaler tool is doing it all, man. I mean, it's doing all the job. I haven't even used the hand brushes at all. Thank God, because that's a lot of work. It's really hard. And this other thing, it's just like awesome. Even this little rotary thing I haven't used. It's just all been on the excuse me, the descaler itself, and it's doing a fabulous job. I couldn't be happier. So we're making good progress. And the only reason I stopped was, I got tired, first of all, and then I had to go to the doctor to get a couple of injections, some shots and stuff or whatever for this cold that I have. So, it's looking really good. I was able to get under it, do quite a bit. So it's coming along. Just gotta continue. And then I have to go to work, so that's the other issue. I'm looking for the descaler. Well, it's around here somewhere. But anyways, and then I finally did get the hose. The hose came in a couple hours ago. Here it is. It's brand new. It's got all the fittings and everything. So it's looking really good. I got this one on eBay also. There's a part and the brand. So it's a complete harness. It's got everything. It doesn't have the replacement banjo bolts. It does have those copper washers there though. So that's good. A couple of plugs and the whole assembly's there. It's just ready to bolt on. So I gotta be doing that. We gotta wait though till I'm done with the descaling stuff and the treatment underneath. Because right now that this hose is off, I can actually get into a couple areas here that I wouldn't be able to if I put that thing back on. So I'm just gonna take advantage that it's off right now so I can scrape away all this area. And then once it's all done and clean and everything, then I'll put the new hose on. And go from there. And you can really see the amount of debris, dirt. A lot of it is dirt too. Dirt and mud and rust. There's a lot of ports, little openings in the frame and the chassis and everything, the body that are clogged up. So this descaling tool is like really going to town and opening up all those little ports and cleaning everything really well. Once I flush it, clean it, pressure wash it, put the salt away, there shouldn't be any more traps for debris and mud to accumulate. Let me just walk over here real quick and I'll show you the old hose that I removed. So here it is. It's this little mother. There was some trouble taking it off, mainly because the fittings were somewhat rusted, and the banjo bolts I was able to remove. The tool I had to cut, that 17 millimeter. It kind of helped, but what really helped the most was me taking off the oil filter to make more room back there. So once I removed the oil filter, I was able to take off the fittings. Well, one of them anyways. This one came off once I removed the filter. And then the last one, this one was the one that, oh man, there's no way I could get the wrench in there even after I cut it. So I was actually having trouble with it. The wrench started spinning on the fitting, and I was not getting any torque. And then so when it spun on me, and I was not able to break it loose, I ended up just cutting the line, just getting rid of the line so I could take it off. And then this wound up by itself right there. And I was actually able to just put a socket and the ratchet, and it went further down to where it wouldn't slip. Got some good torque on it, broke it loose, and then you can tell the thread's not bad at all. It's not rusty, it was just breaking it loose, and then I was able to spin it off. Hopefully the new one will spin right on and not give me any trouble tightening it. Put a little lube in here or something and help it spin, and then put the new hose on. But you can tell this one has seen better days. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I'm glad I'm replacing the whole harness instead of doing a Mickey Mouse repair. In fact, right here is where it was leaking, and you can, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a small hairline crack in there somewhere that was just big enough to let the oil drip. So I could have cut this whole thing off, like cut it here or something, or pull it out of here and then just replace this little section here. But then the rest of the hose would have been like this, and I thought, nah, I better just replace the whole thing. The rubber's kind of compromised too. I think it's seen better days. So the new one will do the trick, and I'll show you once it's going in. All right, just a little update. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello, YouTubers. Another little episode here on my project Land Cruiser. I've done quite a bit so far. I've really gone to town removing all the rust. I went ahead and removed the calipers, the rotors, because there was a shield, the splash shield that goes right here behind the rotor, that's supposed to protect all this area from the splash, the water, and so forth. Well, this shield was completely gone. It was missing. The only thing that was left was sandwiched between the rotor and this piece here, and there was just this thick crusted rust sandwiched in here, and it attaches to these this shield goes on these holes right here. There's 4 of them, and I had to spray it with that blaster, PB blaster or whatever, and let it soak, and then you kind of shake it with a tool, with a hammer. You kind of hammer around it to make sure that PB blaster penetrates. The more vibration, the more it gets in there, and then you let it sit overnight. The next day the screws come out like butter. It's amazing how that stuff works. But anyway, so that's the way I've been able to do it. It's all cleaned out nice. Now it's ready to be salted away, do the salt away. I still need to rinse it with salt away, and then I'm gonna put the Corroseal and treat it, turn it into phosphate, and do the other stuff. But that's still in the works. It's coming little by little. I'm not there yet. In the meantime, what I started doing was, my phone is ringing. But anyways, I feel a lot better now. I'm over my cold. And what I've done is I've taken off the front bumper, remove the bumper assembly here, which is this big plastic thing where the fog lights sit. I just took it off. It's real easy to take off. And took off the grill. And the reason I did is because, I mean, look at all this dust. Rust dust all over the place. Yeah, just so that I could be able to get in here into this area and clean all this really good and treat it and protect it, clean all this. There's salt all over the place. There's so much salt on this thing. You can even see it right here. There's a lot of white. All that white stuff is salt. Salt everywhere. And if you don't treat all this stuff, the salt will just eat away. So I need to scrub it, brush it, pressure wash it. The back of this thing is like full of salt. Ugh. So all that needs to be cleaned. And yeah, and neutralized. Some good detergent. Get all this rust out of here. So at the same time, since I'm doing all this, these two supports right here that support the radiator, they're these long strips that go all the way down on the side, and there's one on the other side as well. They're completely rotted away down at the bottom. They're not completely, but they're pretty bad. And you can tell right there. That's them right there. It's like, really? So those two strips, they're the ones that hold the radiator. I don't want the radiator falling off, but I need to replace those. And I just happen to have two of them from my Sequoia, as well as a new radiator. I have a brand new radiator that'll fit this truck, but I'm gonna have this one checked out once I take it out, because I have to take it out to get to these supports. And at the same time, that's gonna open up this whole space so that I can clean this whole area. And I still have in the works I'm gonna attempt to remove the rack and pinion steering from in there, and it's just those two bolts. It's be that one, and then the one on that side. It's over there, and then the whole assembly should be loose, so I can replace those two bushings that go in there with some neoprene. And right now is the time to do it, since I have the power steering lines disconnected before I install that new harness that I ordered back into the rack. I want to remove the rack, clean it, paint it, whatever it needs, service it, check the seals and all that, or replace it if need be. I don't know. It worked fine when I test drove it. I just want to remove it and clean it and service it, and then the cross member where it sits, I need to be able to scrape at this whole cross member from the top side, because that's the rack right there. So once I remove this power steering rack thing assembly, I can get to the top of this shelf and clean that whole area, along with like the back side of this right here. I can't get in there because this thing's in the way, and I'll be able to clean all that area, clean the pulleys, check that clutch on the fan. And then, since I'm gonna be in there that deep, the radiator will be out. I'm gonna clean this whole area, the front of the engine, the pulleys, make sure all the pulleys are working good, the idler pulleys, and there's some little rust there. I want to treat that with some kind of coating, spray it, and then replace the serpentine belt, which the belt looks fine now, but I want a new one. They're only a few dollars, and it's worth just putting a new one. I don't know how old this one is, even though it looks good. It will get replaced. And then the other thing, while you're that deep into this whole project, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the timing belt that's right here in this area as well. I was not able to find any of the history records where the belt was replaced at any point, and this truck has 150,000 miles, so I think it's way overdue, and that's what I'm gonna do since I'm there. And along with that, I'm gonna change out the thermostat, put new coolant, clean this radiator out really good. Hopefully it's still good. I will be able to just put it back in after a good thorough cleaning. There's a radiator shop downtown that does radiators, and man, those guys do a good job. They disassemble it, they open it up, clean out the caps, and then run some brushes through the interior of these radiators and clean them really good, and then put them all back together. But anyway, so that's where I am. It's still coming along. It's getting deeper and deeper. Initially I was just gonna do the rust and treat it, but now that I'm getting into it more, I discovered those plates were missing, those dust plates, dust shields. So I thought, I'm just gonna get all that sandwich material out of there. I mean, I have to. I ordered the new shields. They should be here like next week. And then at the same time, I was able to remove the caliper. And then free up all these bolts that were holding it. They were pretty rusty, but I was able to break them loose. Clean up this whole area here, and then I'll be able to put these bolts back, clean these threads, put some lubricant, put the bolts back, so that next time I do the brakes I won't have any problems. But the pads are good, these big thick shoes. The discs are good, and also I was able to check the bearings on the hub right here. The bearings are good, the spindles are good, the races are good. There's even a seal that goes in the very back of it, back here, to keep the grease and oil and water from seeping in. That seal seems to be good on the rotors, but I am gonna be replacing it either way because I want new seals right here. And if you put new seals around this hub assembly, I mean, you're good for another 100,000 miles or more. And depending on where you drive this thing, I mean, those seals go out every so often, so it's better to just put some new ones in there. I'm gonna be removing this plastic trim up here on the well, so I can get into this whole area here. Yeah, this is just another one of those little plastic shields with some button clips. And then once I get all this off, I'll be able to get behind this area here, behind this rocker panel piece, and then clean all that really well, because that's usually where rust likes to settle in, and I just don't want that. I want to treat all that area, clean it really good. And I've been doing it. I'm already halfway down the body, or down the chassis. I've been cleaning it, picking at it. I'm about right there where the jack stands are. And all this other area is all done, clean. I've already took all the rust out. So that's where we are. All right, I'll give you another update later. Take care, YouTubers. Sorry about my angles, camera angles, like turning upside down and everything else, but bear with me. If you like my videos so far, subscribe. All right. Oh, let me show you one more thing. So this is the amount of rust that I've taken out of this truck. I filled up this whole thing. It probably weighs about 15 or 20 pounds. And then of course there's mud, there's dirt, salt, rust. It's mostly rust, but there's a little bit of everything in there. There's some oil. But anyways, and then that stuff I'm gonna sprinkle it everywhere. My lawn. And it's like ironite. 100% ironite. And it's great for your plants. But anyways, we'll talk to you later. We'll stay tuned. And thank you for watching.